From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 6th, 2019. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has named Likud Knesset member Amir Ohana to serve as Israel's Justice Minister, replacing Ayelet Shaked. If you recall, Netanyahu fired Shaked earlier this week. A spokesman for Likud told reporters that Ohana will be the first openly gay minister to serve in the security cabinet. Ohana today attended the annual Gay Pride Parade in Jerusalem, where some 10,000 people proudly marched in the city streets under heavy Israeli security. Several people were arrested for trying to disrupt the parade. June, by the way, is LGBTQ Pride Month, celebrating the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community. And Prime Minister Netanyahu met today with Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan, and there are reports that the Prime Minister is looking to name Erdan as Israel's next ambassador to the United Nations, replacing current envoy Danny Danon, whose term is up in a few weeks. And a request from the Prime Minister to once again postpone his pre-indictment hearing has been denied. Netanyahu had asked Israel's Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit to delay the hearing in the 3 corruption cases against him, citing the fact that a new election campaign was underway for September. But a top advisor to Mandelblit, Gil Limon, responded that the dissolution of the Knesset and the holding of new elections can't in and of themselves constitute a consideration that justifies delaying the hearing date in the investigations concerning the Prime Minister. The IDF, after investigating reports of what appeared to be a rocket launch from Syria at Israel, said later today that what was picked up on their radar system was actually anti-aircraft fire. An Army spokesperson said the surface-to-air missile did not land inside Israel, nor did it pose any threat to Israelis. And a Palestinian man who crossed the Gaza border fence with a knife was arrested and taken for questioning today. And in response to arson balloons continuing to be launched from Gaza into southern Israel, the IDF reportedly once again decreased the fishing zone for Gaza. On Tuesday, the limit was increased back to 15 nautical miles. Today, it was said to have been reduced to 10. Well, Israel is partnering with several Arab countries in a major conservation and research effort. The Red Sea Transnational Research Center is being spearheaded by Bar-Ilan University professor Maoz Fine, and Israel will partner with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Eritrea, Sudan, Yemen, and Djibouti to study, monitor, and protect the coral reef ecosystems of the Red Sea. Fine said the relatively narrow sea is surrounded by countries and people who are directly dependent on the well-being of the coral reefs. At the same time, he said the proximity of urban areas and tourism to the reef may inflict damage to it if we aren't wise enough to coordinate our actions when using this asset. The center will sit in Bern, Switzerland, and be led by the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology of Lausanne. YouTube said it would ban videos that promote or glorify racism and discrimination, as well as those denying well-documented violent events like the Holocaust. The video-sharing giant, which is owned by Google, said yesterday, "Today we're taking another step in our hate speech policy by specifically prohibiting videos alleging that a group is superior in order to justify discrimination, segregation, or exclusion based on qualities like age, gender, race, caste, religion, sexual orientation, or veteran status." AFP reports that the French government has launched a project to return cultural artifacts stolen from Jews during the Holocaust. There are said to be some 2,000 artifacts sent from Germany to France after the war, held now in French museums. Up until now, those artifacts have been under special status because their ownership is unknown, and that also prevented them from leaving France. Well, researchers will now examine the cases one by one to see if restitution is in order. Moscow unveiled its first major memorial to the Holocaust. Russian President Vladimir Putin attended the ceremony at the city's Jewish Museum and Tolerance Center on Tuesday. The modern monument shows hands pulling open a door's shutters, commemorating Jewish resistance fighters. Moscow does have busts for saviors of Jews during the Holocaust, but nothing of this scale. Addressing the ceremony, Putin called the Holocaust one of the greatest tragedies in history. Last year, the Russian president was joined by Prime Minister Netanyahu at the laying of the monument's foundation stone. Well, memorials and ceremonies are being held around the world today, marking 75 years since D-Day, June the 6th of 1944, when Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy in the biggest ever air and seaborne invasion in a fight to push the Nazis out of France, which began the ultimate defeat of Nazi Germany. Hundreds of veterans gathered for an emotional ceremony today in Normandy, joined by world leaders to commemorate, mourn, and honor the 4,414 Allied troops, over half of them American, who died on that single day 75 years ago. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, June the 6th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud study. At 8, author-journalist Yossi Klein Halevi and former Israeli ambassador Michael Oren look at post-1973 Israel. Then at 9, Mark Golub sits down with the Israeli architect of the Oslo Accords, Yossi Beilin. That's on the Chaim. At 10:30, the film Wrestling Jerusalem is in the spotlight on New Jewish Cinema. And coming up right after this newscast, it's the ILTV program, The Jewish World. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 6th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.